We're just going to give it a moment so the waiting room clears. Please make sure you're muted as you enter. All right, and we are going to get started. Good afternoon. This is a hearing before the Boston Cannabis Board, the BCB. Today is March 20th, 2024. Today's hearing is being conducted pursuant to amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. This hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. Before I review some procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Thank you, Jasmine. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm chair of the Boston Cannabis Board, and today I'm also joined by Commissioner Lisa Holmes, Commissioner John Smith, Commissioner Gabriel Camacho, Commissioner Sonal Gandhi, and Commissioner Ramon Soto.
Thank you, Chairwoman Joyce. My name is Jasmine Nguyen, and I am the Boston Cannabis Board Manager. And I would like to also take a moment to introduce our new member, Luke Sandhouse, who will be the Cannabis Licensing Specialist. While the public is encouraged to attend, there will be no additional public testimony accepted. I will read each item into the record as they appear on the agenda. We will then hear comments from the board members. I will then ask for a motion if there are any questions to the motion, and then there will be a vote. Each board member has the ability to grant with conditions, defer, reject without prejudice, which means the applicant can return anytime with an application at the same location, or reject with prejudice, which means the applicant cannot reapply at the same location for 1 year. The first item is Nudia Fenway LLC. Nudia, the license premises 48 to 62 Brookline Avenue, Fenway, Kenmore. The license type is a retail recreational cannabis dispensary license, and they are requesting to amend their operating hours from 10 a.m., 11 p.m., all patrons out by 11:30, 7 days a week, to 10 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. Chairwoman Joyce, do you have any comments?
Just a few comments. This licensee was opened up back in July 2023 and then came before the board to amend their hours, I think a month later. And at that time, we asked them to hold off on this request for 6 months and to come back and give us an update. So that's where we are now. We have an update. They've been operating for 6 months. There is support. I have no issues with this amendment.
Commissioner Holmes?
Ditto. I have no issues with this amendment.
Commissioner Camacho?
Same here.
Commissioner Gandhi?
No issues. Thank you.
Commissioner Soto?
No issues. Thanks.
Commissioner Smith?
Thanks, Jasmine. No issues.
All right. Chairwoman Joyce, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and none opposed. So the operating hours are amended as requested. All right, the next matter we have is Holland Brands SB LLC, DBA Native Sun. The license premise is 115 K Street, also known as 538 East First Street, South Boston. The license type is a retail recreational cannabis dispensary license, and they are also requesting to amend their operating hours from Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., to 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days a week. I do want to say for the record, we did receive a letter of opposition from the Councilor at Large, Erin Murphy. Chairwoman Joyce, are there any questions, comments?
No questions. My comments are, unlike the previous application, we have no support for this application. And they also have opened up relatively recent. I would like to see them working on getting some community support before we take a look at amending any hours.
Commissioner Holmes?
I agree. They haven't been open long enough, and with all the conflict between the residents and the company, I do think they really need to work on a little bit of community engagement and getting a little bit more support from the community. I also kind of don't think it's fair for them to be blamed for any incidents that happened over the weekend, considering there was an outside event and there were a lot of other people and it was unusual amount of congestion in the community. So I agree, and I hear what their complaints are and their concerns, but I just think we all need to try to get along and get together and see if we can find some common ground here for both the community and the dispensary.
Commissioner Camacho?
I agree with the commissioner, and I also want to bring attention to the correspondence we got on March 19th, second to last paragraph, which states, under the law, the licensee must be treated the same as other similarly situated establishments. Denying the request to extend the hours of operation would be a violation of that legal obligation. I take that as a thinly veiled threat. I think instead of trying to harangue the Boston Cannabis Board, it would be better to use their resources to make more overtures to the neighborhood. Thank you.
Commissioner Gondi?
Thank you, Jasmine. I agree with the comments. I did also read all the comment letters that were received, both from the community, the spreadsheet of comments that was received with the 100+ comments, Aaron Murphy's letter that you alluded to, Commissioner Boyce, and I also would like to echo the sentiments that both parties need to come to a common ground here, or try to come to a common ground. You know, I think there's a lot of very heated emotions on both sides. There was a lot of accusations from both ends, and I'd like to see both parties try to work it out. But at this point, I'm with the commissioner, my fellow commissioners, and I'd like to see the proponent here work with the community to see if there's any common ground.
Commissioner Soto?
Well, yeah, thank you, Jasmine. What struck me about the request was the blanket nature of the timing being uniform across every day, and we have not seen that. In my experience in these type of requests, it's generally more thoughtful in terms of when the business will, could expect to have more traffic, or, and so it felt like this was so broad and so sudden when they're relatively newer licensee. So I think that may be one area to focus on, is thinking about that timing and how to engage the community in a respectful dialogue that allows for the community to both see sort of the business demand of expanding the hours, and then the community to be able to share, their concerns and the potential impact of that. At this point in the conversations that I've, from the last hearing, it didn't sound like any of that had happened. And I think that's essential in order for neighborhood business to be responsible to its neighbors, as well as for the neighbors to be able to appreciate what the business has to do. So that would be my 2 cents, and just kind of where that was the thing that struck me the most in terms of this specific request.
Commissioner Smith?
Thank you, Jasmine. So I think, this cannabis business is not going anywhere. So I think, echoing most of the fellow commissioners, there seems to be a need to sort of coexist, and a need for, I think there's probably valid issues on all sides here, and I feel like there has to be a way where folks are addressing some of the nuisance issues, which I think can easily be addressed, maybe in terms of at least the perceived nuisance issues. So I would agree, I think, with Commissioner Joyce in saying, give them more time let's sort of see the track record. Let's sort of see the things that are addressed. Because it seems very heated. People are taking things very personally almost. So, you know, it's the first time I've been in one of these where somebody's asked to extend their hours that there's been so much uniform opposition towards it. So I would say just give it more time to play out and let's see where it goes, maybe in a couple, 3-4 months or something.
Chairwoman Joyce?
Just to echo what Commissioner Camacho said, that paragraph stood out to me too, because I wouldn't call this location and this licensee as similarly situated to Dia and Fenway, two different neighborhoods. One has a ton of support, one is in a big business district. I feel like the opposition is founded, not unfounded, and it is vocal. So I take issue with some of the language that was used in the opposition letter that we received yesterday. That being said, and that being noted for the record, I vote to oppose the amended hours.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And none opposed. The petition for an extension of hours is rejected. All right, those are all the matters before the board today. Our next hearing will take place on April 10th, 2024 at 1 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.